Welcome back. Well, perimenopause is something many women experience, but not everyone talks about, especially when it comes to your mental health. Now, joining me now is our health expert, Dr. Tatiana Saavedra, here to share more on how to better understand the hormonal changes and how it can impact your mood. Of course, mood can impact the women, but it can also impact the men as well at home. But let's jump right in. So what is happening during perimenopause, and why is mental health so important during this phase?
So what we do know at baseline, even before menopause, rates of depression tend to affect women more than men. And those rates can be anywhere between like 25 and 30%. During the perimenopause transition, those numbers almost double to where you can see anywhere between 45 to 70% of women describe symptoms of depression and anxiety. And so what we've learned with everything that's happening during that transition is with estrogen levels kind of fluctuating, and that's something that I think was an interesting finding, is that it's not so much that it's the sudden drop of the estradiol levels, it's just that kind of this fluctuation that's occurring that really can impact the neurotransmitters in the brain.
So let's talk about the mood part of it, because I know we hear like the women have mood swings at this age, and you know, depression is something we've talked about.
Yes.
And do people have, or I say people, women have identity crisis? Is that a thing, or not really? 'Cause I know sometimes it is portrayed in like TV shows, like sitcoms, you know, identity crisis and things like that.
So it can to some degree. And so there are some risk factors for people having, let's start with like the depressive type symptoms. Right. People who've had a prior history of depression or have, actually it's a lot of the symptoms we've already described that are happening during the perimenopause transition. If they're having a lot of vasomotor symptoms, if they're having trouble sleeping, if they're having the brain fog or the weight gain, that might be, you know, more of a reason for there to be depressed mood. What we're also seeing is that in the midlife time frame, a lot of women are facing changes in their overall life. Right. So kids might be graduating from school and moving out of the house. Parents are getting older, and now all of a sudden they're not just taking care of their own kids, they're now left taking care of their parents. And so to some degree, yes, you can get some, you know, identity crisis that happens because women are sometimes thrown into this time where they're kind of left to fulfill multiple roles that they weren't doing before. And so that's certainly a possibility.
Now we talk about mental health. Brain fog is another big concern. Are we talking about brain fog? I hear women who say they experience it during pregnancy. Is it that same type of symptom, or is it a little bit different?
It's actually very similar. And it's just that kind of feeling of a lot of times not being able to find the word. Like you know the word and you're frustrated because you're like, wait a second, I can't think of it, you know? And so we do see some of these cognitive changes that happen. And that kind of actually brings up a really good point, which is this, this time of vulnerability. And what that means is, as we see fluctuations in hormones, if there's a woman that's particularly sensitive to those fluctuations, you can actually see kind of these changes, not just with perimenopause, you could see it postpartum or during pregnancy, and you can even see it during the menstrual cycle. And so it's, again, just goes back to the fact that during these particular times in a woman's life, those variations in hormones can just kind of, you know, really wreak havoc on mood.
Now let's talk about how, I guess, the family and the loved ones can help and not, I guess, per se, add to it. So it's important to have conversation around, you know, even if you have a partner at home about, you know, what's happening so that you're not caught off guard, per se.
So that's actually a wonderful point. I think as we're kind of learning more about perimenopause and we're talking more about it, I think we're going to find that family members and spouses and loved ones are going to be a little bit more, one, well-informed. So they're going to realize, oh, okay, this is a lot that's happening in her body, things that she has no control over. The best thing that loved ones can do is really just be there and be supportive and, you know, just try to be as understanding as possible. I actually listened to a webinar the other day on this, and one of the doctors was asked, like, what would you put in your toolkit? And this kind of goes more towards how you feel about yourself.
Right.
But what she said is giving yourself grace.
That was great.
And the same kind of grace you would give to your best friend. So a lot of times we are so hard on ourselves, and just think back of, would I treat my best friend like that? Right. Why am I talking to myself that way? So giving yourself grace, moving your body, and getting plenty of sleep. And so loved ones, if they can kind of help with that, if they can say, oh, you need to go take a walk, perfect. I will take care of the kids right now, or I will try to handle dinner to give you the time to do that. I think those are all great things.
I love it. And give yourself grace. Partners, give your partners grace.
Yes.
And understand it's a temporary phase.
Yes.
You know, it might be a little bit elongated, but it's temporary.
It's temporary, absolutely.
Now, if you guys have questions on this topic or anything else that we've covered over the last several weeks, just email us. You can email us at getanswers@louisianafirstnews.com. We will take your answers and answer your questions right here live during our health segment. Thank you so much, Dr. Tatiana Saavedra, for joining me this morning. And stay right there. We have more news, weather, and traffic coming up after the break.